Welcome to Sakura and Stone, where the art of Japanese gardens meets timeless tranquility. I'm Sakura, and today we're diving into the living heart of Japanese gardens, the carefully selected plants that transform simple spaces into poetic landscapes. Did you know that in traditional Japanese gardens, plants aren't chosen just for their beauty? Each leaf, branch, and blossom serves a deeper purpose, telling stories, marking seasons, and creating harmony that has captivated the world for over 1,000 years. Imagine stepping into a garden where every plant has been thoughtfully chosen to evoke a specific emotion or memory, where a single maple leaf can represent the impermanence of life, and where moss-covered stones whisper stories of ancient mountains. Today, I'll reveal the essential plant elements that define authentic Japanese gardens and show you exactly how to incorporate them in any climate, from the scorching southwest to the frigid northeast. Whether you have acres of land or just a tiny balcony, these timeless botanical elements can transform your space into a serene sanctuary. Let's begin our journey through the plant elements that have defined Japanese gardens for centuries. Before we jump in, here's what we'll cover today. 1. Japanese maples as the iconic centerpiece. 2. Pine trees, known for symbols of longevity and strength. 3. Bamboo, the grace, flexibility, and practical beauty it brings. 4. Moss is the living carpet of tranquility. And 5. Flowering plants. For seasonal celebrations, no plant captures the essence of Japanese gardens quite like the Japanese maple or Acer palmatum. These elegant trees have been cultivated in Japan since the 7th century, originally introduced from China and Korea, but perfected through centuries of careful selection and breeding by Japanese gardeners. What makes Japanese maples so special is their extraordinary seasonal beauty. In spring, delicate new leaves unfurl in vibrant reds, oranges, or greens. Summer brings deeper, richer tones. But it's autumn when these trees truly perform their magic, exploding in fiery displays of crimson, orange, and gold that exemplify the Japanese concept of mono no aware, the bittersweet awareness of impermanence. Historically, these trees were planted near Buddhist temples to symbolize change and enlightenment. The maple leaf, or momiji, became so culturally significant that autumn maple viewing, called momijigari, it has been a cherished tradition in Japan since the Heian period, over 1,000 years ago. You will want to position Japanese maples as focal points where their delicate branch structure can be appreciated. Consider their mature size. Dwarf varieties like Shane grow only 4 to 6 feet tall, perfect for small gardens. Plant against a simple backdrop like a stone wall or evergreens to highlight their dramatic colors. Upright varieties like Bloodgood provide vertical interest, while weeping types like Crimson Queen create cascading forms. Japanese maples thrive in USDA zones 5 to 9, but with some protection, certain varieties can survive in zone 4. They prefer dappled sunlight or morning sun with afternoon shade, well-draining soil rich in organic matter, protection from harsh winds. In hotter regions, zones 8 to 9, they need significant afternoon shade. In colder regions, plant near buildings or walls for wind protection. For those in challenging climates, consider container growing which allows you to move your maple to protected areas during extreme weather. If Japanese maples represent the fleeting beauty of life, pines, Pinus species, embody its enduring strength. Pines have been revered in Japanese culture for over 1,000 years, symbolizing longevity, steadfastness, and resilience. The most prized species in Japanese gardens include Japanese black pine, Pinus thunbergii, known for its dramatic asymmetrical form; Japanese white pine, Pinus parviflora, valued for its blue-green needles and artistic structure; Japanese red pine, Pinus densiflora, admired for its orange-red bark and painterly silhouette. Historically, pine trees were believed to house kami, or Shinto spirits, and were often marked with sacred Shimenawa ropes. The iconic image of windswept pines clinging to rocky shores has inspired Japanese art and poetry for centuries. What makes pines essential to Japanese gardens is not just their evergreen nature, but the practice of niwaki, the art of cloud pruning. Through careful training and selective pruning, pines are shaped to resemble ancient trees weathered by nature, creating a sense of maturity and timelessness even in young gardens. Use pines as borrowed scenery elements that frame views or connect your garden to distant landscapes. Position where winter sunlight will highlight their architectural structure. Plant in groups of 3 for a natural-looking grove, or as solitary specimens. Combine with stone elements to create miniature landscapes reminiscent of mountainous terrain. Japanese pines are remarkably adaptable, thriving in USDA zones 4 to 9, depending on species. Full sun to light, partial shade, well-draining soil. They actually prefer poor, sandy soils. Excellent drought tolerance once established. Adaptable to coastal conditions and salt spray. In very hot regions, Japanese white pine may struggle without afternoon shade. In cold northern climates, provide windbreak protection. For smaller spaces, consider dwarf pine varieties like Thunderhead, compact Japanese black pine, or container-grown specimens. Few plants embody Japanese aesthetics like bamboo. Its combination of strength and flexibility has made it both a garden element and a philosophical symbol in Japanese culture. The hollow stems represent the Buddhist concept of emptiness or non-attachment, while its ability to bend without breaking symbolizes resilience. Beyond symbolism, bamboo brings unique sensory elements to the garden. The distinctive rustling sound of leaves in the breeze, the visual rhythm of vertical cones, and the ever-changing patterns of light filtering through the stems. Historically, bamboo has had practical applications in Japanese gardens for over 1,200 years. Traditional bamboo fences, called takegaki, waterspouts, shishi or doshi, and pathways define spaces and add authentic character. A few design tips for bamboo use would be to 1. Use bamboo as a living screen or background element. 2. Create contrast by pairing with stone elements or water features. And 3. Plant in contained areas using root barriers to prevent spreading. For authentic Japanese garden features, incorporate bamboo in bamboo fences with twined black twine, or waterspouts and deer scaras, shishi or doshi, or simple bamboo gates, sogomon. There are bamboo species for nearly every climate, from USDA zones 4 to 11. Number 1. Running bamboos, Philostachys species, spread aggressively and need containment. Number 2. Clumping bamboos, Fargesia species, stay more contained and work well in smaller spaces. Number 3. Most prefer part sun to part shade, and regular moisture but well-draining soil. Number 4. In colder regions, Fargesia rufa and F. dracocephala can withstand temperatures to a negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit. And number 5. In hot regions, provide afternoon shade and regular watering. Finally, for smaller gardens or containers, consider dwarf varieties like Plioblastus viridistriatus, Chrysophilus, or Sasa veitchi. In Western gardens, moss is often considered a nuisance. In Japanese gardens, it's treasured as a living carpet that brings ancient, primordial beauty and creates a sense of age and tranquility. Moss gardens, or kokeniwa, have been cultivated in Japan since the Muromachi period, 1336 to 1573. The most famous moss garden in Japan, Saihoji in Kyoto, often called the Moss Temple, features over 120 species of moss, creating a verdant tapestry of textures. This garden represents the pinnacle of moss cultivation, illustrating the Japanese concept of wabi-sabi, finding beauty in imperfection and age. What makes moss special is its ability to 1. Create a sense of antiquity and established beauty. 2. Soften hard landscape elements. 3. Provide year-round green color and create a feeling of natural landscape in miniature form. A few design tips for moss. 1. Use moss as ground cover around stepping stones or beneath trees. 2. Create contrast between smooth moss surfaces and rough stone textures. 3. Consider different moss species for texture variation. Cushion mosses, Leucobrium, create mounded forms, and sheet mosses, Hypnum, create flat carpets, or haircap mosses, Polytrasum, add vertical elements. You can also create moss islands in areas of fine gravel to mimic islands in the sea. Now moss thrives in USDA zones 4 to 10, but needs specific conditions. 1. Shade-to-part shade for most species. 2. Acidic soil with a pH of 5.0 to 5.53. Consistent moisture and protection from leaf litter. Accumulation 4. In dry climates, focus moss in protected, naturally humid areas. And 5. In humid climates, moss will naturally colonize suitable areas. For those in arid regions, focus on drought-tolerant stone and gravel elements, using moss only in small, specially prepared areas or container displays. While Japanese gardens are known for their restrained palette, flowering plants play a crucial role in marking seasonal transitions, a concept known as shiki, or seasonal awareness. Rather than continuous showy blooms, Japanese gardens feature carefully timed flowering moments that celebrate nature's ephemeral beauty. The most iconic flowering plants in Japanese gardens include 1. Cherry blossoms, Sakura, also my beloved name, perhaps Japan's most beloved cultural symbol. These brief, breathtaking blooms represent both the beauty and impermanence of life. The tradition of hanami, flower viewing, dates back to the 8th century. 2. Japanese azaleas, Tsutsuji. These compact shrubs explode with color in spring, creating dramatic color accents. They've been cultivated in Japan for over 500 years, with hundreds of traditional varieties. 3. Camellias, Tsubaki. With their perfect geometric blooms in winter and early spring, camellias represent the beauty that persists even in difficult seasons. Samurai once compared their falling blossoms to the honorable way a warrior should die. 4. Japanese iris, Hanashōbu. These elegant flowers are often planted near water, creating reflections that double their beauty. They feature prominently in classical Japanese literature and art. 5. Japanese wisteria, Fuji. With their dramatic cascades of fragrant blooms, wisteria exemplify the Japanese appreciation for plants that bridge earth and sky. For design tips, use flowering plants as seasonal accents rather than year-round focal points. Group similar plants together for visual impact during their bloom time. Also, consider viewing angles and backgrounds that will highlight blooms, and plan for sequential blooms throughout the year. In the winter, camellias and winter jasmine. In the spring, cherry blossoms, azaleas, and wisteria. In the summer, iris and hydrangeas. And finally, in the fall, spider, lilies, and chrysanthemums. Now, the growing requirements for cherry trees. USDA zones 5 to 8 need winter chill hours and protection from late frosts. Azaleas, zones 5 to 9, require acidic soil and protection from the afternoon sun. Camellias, zones 7 to 10, need acidic soil and protection from winter winds. Japanese iris, zones 4 to 9, require consistent moisture and full sun. Wisteria, zones 5 to 9, need full sun and strong support structures. For challenging climates, consider 1. In cold regions, zones 3 to 4, focus on hardy azalea varieties and iris. 2. In hot regions, zones 9 to 10, choose heat-tolerant camellias and azaleas. 3. In dry regions, emphasize spring-flowering trees and drought-resistant ground covers. As we've seen, the plants in Japanese gardens are far more than decorative elements. They're storytellers, marking the passage of time and connecting us to natural rhythms. The magic lies not in crowding many species together, but in thoughtful selection and placement that allows each plant to speak. Remember these key principles as you incorporate these elements into your own space. 1. Restraint. Use fewer species, but choose them thoughtfully. 2. Seasonality. Select plants that mark the changing seasons. 3. Symbolism. Consider the cultural meaning behind your choices. 4. Adaptation. Work with plants suited to your local climate. And 5. Patience. Japanese gardens are about the journey, not instant results. No matter where you live or how much space you have, these plant elements can bring the serenity and thoughtful beauty of Japanese gardens into your everyday life. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the plant elements of Japanese gardens. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to Sakura and Stone for more inspiration on creating your own Japanese garden sanctuary. Until next time, find peace in your garden, wherever it may be.